I can't look back, it's too late now. My days are hours and I don't know how, but I believe the great is still yet to come. I won't stop fighting, man, until I'm done.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the Christmas edition of The Breakfast Ball. I am your host, Bob Cardia. The dashing Richie Stoltz here. He is our number one assistant and NCAA All-American. So, always delighted to have Richie here at The Breakfast Ball. Of course. So today is called Stop the Insanity.
Before we get started, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Guys, this right here, I do not support this. I just want to throw that out there.
I got my New York Giant nutcrackers out here, and let me tell you what, if we win this week, that's 4 in a row, just saying, okay? Okay. See, now, Rich just brought that, okay. So, folks, Richie is a Cowboy fan, okay? Which basically, in my mind, is just bad parenting, really, to be honest with you.
Some say I was dropped on my head as a child.
And you know what? Maybe in this instance, it might be true.
I don't support it either. So.
No, right? Mary back there, no Cowboy, okay. Don't get me started.
Either one of you. I mean, come on, the Niners. Hello.
Yeah, well.
Mary.
Let's see, for my family's from outside of New York, though, I have every right to be a Giant fan. I got a birthright.
Texas.
Your family's from Texas?
No.
I guess.
I grew up with
Rich, you ever been to
Montana.
Texas? Oh, no, you've been. Okay, you've been to Dallas once. Okay, I flew over Dallas once, so I'm a Dallas fan. So all I say is, don't break your ankle falling off the bandwagon. I'm just saying.
Come on.
Okay. Anyway, so the name of today's show is Stop the Insanity, and that's not just him being a Cowboy fan, or for that matter, me with my Christmas outfit. By the way, that's Christmas. Insane, right? So, insanity, yeah. The definition of insanity is...
Well, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Yes. And I don't know, I think it was Einstein or Edison. As far as Richie knows, I said it. But I'll take credit for it.
Bob said it.
Yeah, it wasn't me. But, it's the definition of doing the same thing over and over again. So, when expecting a different result. I had the privilege, years ago. So our original partners not our original partner, but the partner in the major project that we undertook back in the day was a company called Somerton Springs, who was the 9th largest golf retailer in the nation at that point. So we opened a facility together, and we had a gentleman come out to our facility named Bob Toski. And again, if you didn't know who Jack Nicklaus was a couple episodes ago or last episode, then you're not going to know who Bob Toski is either. But he's in the Hall of Fame for golf. He was the senior editor, I believe, of Golf Digest. I also believe he was the leading money winner on the senior tour when it first started. Great. I mean, a legend in golf for sure. So one of the things I like about Toski is he actually an entrepreneur also. He started his own golf club company. So when we're at the driving range sometimes and you're looking at the bags, like the rental clubs that we have, and you come across the Bob Toski Club, it always brings a smile on my face because I had met the man. So also interesting guy because he had in public he had the Ben Hogan hat and always dressed to the golf nines. And then when we were up in the office talking beforehand, and he had a big personality. It was it was interesting to see him, talk privately when we were just discussing life and stuff like that. But anyway, when he was promoting his line of clubs, would walk up and down the tee line and would talk to people and meet the people. And in the very stall that Richie and I do the majority of our teaching right now, he was there and he was talking to a student. And it actually validates everything that every instructor in this country should know going into it. I don't care if you're Haney or you're Ledbetter or you're me or Toski was working with this guy and he was showing him positions to be in and all that kind of stuff, and the guy said, Mr. Toski, this doesn't feel very comfortable. And Toski looked at him and said, sir, if you're going to make a change in your golf swing and it feels comfortable, chances are you're not making a change. And I use that, all day long, in terms of teaching. Just because something feels comfortable to you doesn't mean that it's correct. So again, change, and like Tony Robbins says, if you're going to make a change, you want to make a massive change in a different direction. If you want to get better at something, you have to change the direction of or the trajectory of what you're doing. So, Rich and I teach a lot of classes. Every spring, summer, and fall for the past close to 30 years, I've taught the same class in a youth introductory class at 9:30 and an adult class at 10:45, adult intro. And then there's a skill builder at 12 noon. So if you're interested and you live in southern New Jersey, every spring and fall, we've done this for, forever. So, interesting. There's some stat that I read, because Richie knows, Mary knows back there, that I read, when I'm downtime, I'm always picking up at something, looking at something, trying to learn something. And the stat was like 96% of tour players started playing golf before the age of 12. Huh. So I mentioned that to one of my students, and they're like, well, why do you think that is? And that forced me to think, which sometimes is painful. But I thought about it, and I came to my own conclusion on this, and let's see if this resonates with you. So every spring and fall, we have the kids' classes out there, right? And they're hitting the golf balls. And they're out there hitting them. And kids only want to know two things, okay? They want to know how far that golf ball is going, and they want to hit the guy in the golf cart driving around there. Like, if they hit that guy in the cart, right, that's a successful day for them, right? They don't care if they swing and they miss. They like the first episode with this dance like there's nobody watching. Something awful happens to us as we get older, and it's called self-awareness. And my imitation of the adult intro class, right? Step at the ball, they grip the club too tightly, and oh my God, if I swing and I miss, or if I ground a ball, or I'm, this is embarrassing. What am I doing? And if you go through your life doing things that way, life is going to be hard. Just accept the fact that sometime in life you're not going to be good at something. Yeah, I mean, if you want to get better, and I do that in my own life. I wish I'd done it earlier, but know that if you want to acquire a new skill, you're not going to start off great. Yeah. Although, Richie's a natural athlete. Yeah. Yes, Mary.
Question, not a question, but a statement from the peanut gallery back here.
Yes.
I will say, anybody who hits the guy in the cart is having a great day, because that's just a really good feeling. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's my goal when I go to the range.
The guy in the cart.
At least
I
once.
was the guy in the cart growing up,
once.
though. Let me tell you what. That everybody who says they want to drive that golf cart around, let me just tell you what. I did it. The novelty wears off. I don't know, about 30 minutes into your first day. Like, the first time that golf cart breaks down out there and you have to get out, and people are crazy. They don't care. Like, literally, I mean, they don't care. Look, they're it's like the Hunger Games. They're out to get you. It's like, yeah. So yes, driving the cart is not all it's cracked up to be.
My apologies, but it is fun.
No, I know. So anyway, let's go back to teaching, because that's what we did.
Yeah.
Teaching, life coaching, performance psychology, whatever you want to say to it. But instruction, back to the Toski point, believe in the process. If you're coming out to see us, clearly you're not where you want to be with your game. So what we do is we do small, chewable bites. I guess the thread throughout all the instruction that we do, and we were discussing Harvey Penick the other day, is path, club face, and alignment are staples of any instruction. I know with all the the TrackMan and all the stuff that we do. Actually, who was it? I think it was Claude Harmon. I was at the NCAA coaches convention one year, and after Harmon got done speaking, and he was ranked as one of the top 5 instructors on the planet, he was standing around after one of his presentations, and he was speaking, and you know, I kind of sashayed up. There's like 4 or 5 guys standing around him, so I'm pretending like I'm important. And I just started listening to what the man said, and he said something to the effect of technology was wonderful, but it's actually creating a generation of golfers that's too reliant upon technology. He said the fundamental thing that people lose, and that's what we teach, is the most misunderstood word in golf is
Swing.
yeah. People lose, it's an athletic motion. If you laid Jack Nicklaus' swing next to Arnold Palmer's swing, next to Tiger Woods, next to Mickelson, next to Hogan, guess what? They're all distinctly different. You could look at all of them and say, oh, that's Tiger. Oh, that's Jack. Oh, that's Arnold. But the path at which the club travels, the club face and impact, and the overall alignment of their bodies is all the same. So I always tell this story. And Andrew, I got to get Andrew on a podcast at some point. But when Andrew first came to me and said he wanted to teach, I said to him, Andrew, great, I love it. I said, what do you want to teach? And he said, well, I want to really teach the fundamentals. And I'm like, okay, love it. And I, being the smart ass that I am, I said, Andrew, what's a fundamental? And he looked at me and said, I don't know. I said, well, keeping your left arm straight. And I said, yeah, that's not a fundamental. And he looked at me. He's like, well, yeah, it is. I'm like, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. So I took my cell phone and I slid it across the table to him. And I said, okay, I would like you to call Jack Nicklaus. And he's like, well, why? I'm like, well, I have pictures here from 1977. Nicklaus's left arm was slightly bent at the top of his backswing. I'd like you to tell him he's doing it wrong. My point being, a fundamental to me, to us, to Richie, is what we discussed, is something that you have to do. Okay? You have to do. Where your club faces impact, the path at which it travels. The rest of it, is back to Toski, a book that he was a part of back in the day. I can't find it. But it's called Find Your Own Fundamentals. It's things that you have to do. So when we're doing instruction, we break things down into small, chewable bites, and this is what you have to do. So I guess my first question to the dashing Richie Stoltz would be, who decides what is the right thing?
In a golf lesson?
Yes.
If you come to me for a golf lesson, I'm going to make the strong assumption that I'm deciding what's right. For
One
your
would
golf swing.
think. We have students that debate things with us all the time. What's working better my way? If it's working better your way, then then what are you seeing me for?
I have a student named Chubbs. Well, we're going to call him Chubbs for today.
Yes.
Chubbs doesn't want to listen to what I tell him, and I'm never going to tell Chubbs that he has to listen to me, but Chubbs is coming to me for a lesson, and Chubbs is trying to get better.
And Chubbs has probably had, between our golf schools, probably, I don't know. Maybe.
Chubbs does have 2 hands, by the way.
Yes. Yes, he was not marred in that alligator accident. Chubbs has taken lessons probably now for 2-3 years, maybe 30, 40 lessons. And it apparently works better his way.
He doesn't want to listen to me.
Okay. And the other thing that Richie and I get a lot of is, I don't have time. I saw an Arnold Schwarzenegger speech all the time. I go, I need 8 hours sleep. I need 7 hours sleep. I need 6 hours sleep. And Arnold's like, well, sleep faster. Which I love, right?
Yeah.
But so you can, as I was talking about earlier with reading a book, if you can just get up 15 minutes earlier, and devote that time, you will never, ever be able to convince me that you can't find time somewhere. You can't save time. You can't say,
you can't get it back.
You can't get it back. So you need to find time. If that is something that is important to you, you need to find time. So, Richie, broad question here, but before there were clocks, how did people keep time?
Well, night and day. Dark and light. Sun comes up, sun goes down.
Do you think that, 1,000 years ago, they were sitting there going, I'm going to sleep in till noon, right? Yeah, I'm going to sleep until noon. One of the things that's become, it's a great thing and a terrible thing, is from the Waterboy Technologies for the Devil. Yeah, I mean, people are reliant upon snooze alarm, their handheld devices. To me, like and again, fun me to say because you probably turn the show off now. But social media is dumbing down society. Like, if you have free time and you're sitting staring at TikTok, probably not the best use of your time. But if you're watching The Breakfast Ball,
I was going to say unless it's our stuff,
right?
it's-
And if you're watching our
okay.
stuff, that is productive use of your time. If you're watching JoJo the Dancing Bear, that is not productive use of your time. But anyway, yeah, I think there's a large segment of people that mismanage their time because, back in the day, it was fight or flight. You did what you did as a survival instinct. So what I try, and again, I try to practice what I preach in terms of maximizing your time. I try to prioritize what I need to get done in that space of time. So, with that said, okay, maximizing time. When you're practicing in your golf game and you're trying to get to the next level, a lot of times, again, self-awareness is a huge thing with people. I know people that come to the range, sometimes they top a number of shots and they're looking around to see if people are watching. So what would you say to somebody? How much should you worry about what other people are thinking?
I had a friend back
You
in.
had one?
I just one. Just one.
All right. Was he imaginary? Take it.
This was back in high school,
Okay.
and she told me that I was crazy. Well,
Which, if you're working with me, you're gotta be
yeah,
great.
well, yeah, I'm not going to deny that statement.
Yeah.
But she told me I was crazy, and I was like, well, why am I crazy? Well, her answer was, I practice too much.
Mm.
I practiced way too much. All I did in high school was practice. So, well, I practiced for a reason. I had a goal. I had, stuff I wanted to achieve. So I didn't care what other people thought. She thought I was crazy. I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do.
Uh-huh.
So me personally, I don't care what other people think.
No, where is she now?
Well, not where I am.
Right. Yeah. 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 Like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan were known to just be practicing for hours and hours.
Yeah.
If you want excellence, that's Richie is. I think I mentioned. I'm fairly sure I've mentioned in other episodes, but it's not uncommon for me to get call at like 10:30 at night. Coach, and like instantly, are you okay? Is everything all right? My putting. I need to talk about my putting. Okay. Hey man, tell you what, I love that about you.
Mm-hmm.
That's if you want to be great at something, you need to put that time in, and you'll find it. People I'm sure it's happened to you. Hey, let's go to happy hour, or let's go to Cancun, or let's do this and that, and you say no, I want to practice. You'll get labeled as a nut job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You'll get labeled as oh, you're too concerned about what you're doing and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And no, if that's what you want, that's what you go get. And as a metaphor for life, lifelong learning. If there's something, so I tell the Les Brown story. Les Brown has this whole. Let's see if I can do it. No, I can't do it as good as Les can, but let me just say, he has this vision that you want to put in your head. I guess before I tell that story, it basically regards your life. You get one chance to do this. Okay, one chance. So they did a study. You've probably heard it. If you haven't, I'm glad to tell it to you. The life. They went to, I guess, 100 old age homes, people in hospice, and they were asking, what was your single one greatest regret in life? And there was no commonality to it at all. Nobody said the same thing. It was so they were looking at this study going, well, I guess this was pointless. And then they kind of went around the back door of the study. And basically the one greatest regret of people in this world is not something they did, is
Something they didn't do.
something they didn't do, something they wanted to do and never did.
Yeah.
So I hope we don't play that anymore like that. So, I'm just, right? So, during
I
the
live like that, by the way.
What's that?
Anything that I want to do, I want to make sure that I at least give myself a chance to do.
Get it
because
done,
I
man.
know if I don't, I'm going to be one of those grumpy old men later on in life.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I give myself a chance to do whatever it is that I want to do.
Right. Like I said, I watch HGTV. I'm like, you know what? Let's get a real estate license. And then, like, you know, I like, you know, the music. I'm a big music fan, so I start taking guitar lessons. And now, like, the intro and exit music on all our shows is me. And, like, I never claimed to be the greatest vocalist on the planet, but you know what? I'm writing songs, I'm doing songs, and, like, if people don't like it, that's okay. I'm loving it. I'm recording a couple new songs next month.
I'm loving it.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm loving it. That's okay. That's all right. So I guess the overall premise of today's show is stop the insanity. If you're not happy where you are, like if you're not happy where you are, then identify where you want to be, what you want to do, and go for it. Don't be the guy, the Les Brown guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Les Brown story, the last story of the day. Yeah, I know, right? Coach Bob can talk all day. You basically pretend you're lying on your deathbed, and standing around you are all the ghosts of everything you ever wanted to do. And they're all staring at you with large, angry eyes, saying, you know what? We came to you to bring us to life, and now we have to die with you. All the dreams, the aspirations, everything you ever want to do is going to die because you didn't do it. And when you look at life that way, it takes on a whole different perspective. So, anyway.
Tell a dad joke, because that was dark.
It was dark. Dad joke. All right, so Mary says I should tell a dad joke in my Christmas outfit. Okay, so dad joke. Okay, did you hear about the blue ship that collided with the red ship? You know what happened?
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, everybody was marooned.
Oh, man.
I know, right?
Ignore
All right.
it.
So anyway,
I take it back.
Merry Christmas to you and yours. Happy holidays for those who don't. Festivus for the rest of us. Whatever. We're hoping you had a Merry Christmas. This episode of The Breakfast Ball, I'm Bob Cardia.
Rich Stoltz, the dashing.
The dashing Richie Stoltz. We'll see you next time.
Glass of bourbon, ha ha. My bourbon, ha ha. My bourbon, ha ha. Alcohol is no great story ever started with, I'll have a salad.